Welcome back to Sunday at the Fall Nationals for the Northeast Karting Challenge at New Jersey Motorsports Park. As you can see, a soaked racetrack is set to kick things off for pre-finals. They were slated to be 12 minutes plus 2 laps, so with inclement weather continuing to loom and the standard lightning policy here at New Jersey Motorsports Park, we've shortened the pre-finals to wrap things up for them by noon, and our tentative plan, pending any weather delays, will be to run straight through the 16-minute plus 2 laps main event. So 8 laps plus 2 laps here on the pre-finals. Couple drivers absent from the grid in Girard Construction Cadet, but we are getting set to go green with Max Mitev and Thomas Chrisman on the front row. Travis Pettit was slated to start into the edge of the top 10. I don't see him on the racetrack here. We're down to, it looks to be 7 in total. Headed down the tram lines and getting set to go green. So Max Mitev on the U-Race Parolin and Thomas Crispin on the outside, side by side down to turn 1. Look at that big slash of water there as they go to the first corner, and Thomas Crispin will slide a little bit wide, but he'll get the lead and nose ahead over to turn number 2 and back down the inside for Max Mitev, and a little bit of a spin behind him. That's the 166 machine going around. Oh man, right off the bat. Goes the 166, and I think that might have been Max Mitev. Might have been Max McCarrum that actually leads our way here over Thomas Chrisman up into third. Now is the 17. That's George Zeminski. So Max Mitev was the driver that spun around. We also have one more off. That's the 144 of Michael Aiello. He's able to get back going. That's coming out of turn number 3. And now as we go through the chicane on the back straightaway here for the first time, Max McCarrum leads us on that U-Race livery Parolin through the back sector with the time clock in the top left-hand corner of your screen. This is the pre-final again for those of you just joining us here this morning. Still free to view for all of our pre-final action. Then we'll go to KC Premium members only at $9.99 a month for the main events. My name's Xander Clements in the booth here with Taylor Burris. We'll have Matteo Giuliano on the ground getting a ton of intel and interviews throughout the weekend, as he has been all day yesterday. Let's watch McCarrum here through the chicane and towards the front straightaway. We'll put 1 lap down. Probably going to put about 6 or 7 in the wet conditions in total in the race. So here we go through the dog leg, past the CMC Motorsports Arch, and with 1 lap complete, we'll get an update on where everybody stands. It's Max McCarrum that leads, Thomas Chrisman Jr. second, George Zeminski third, Kristen Thomasian is 4th. Max Mitev, after the spin, was able to get back going. He is 5th, and then it should be Michael Aiello and maybe Caden Roulette, but no Travis Pettit here this morning, no Louis Thomasian either on the early session, and we've got a battle brewing. Back for second. It's a little bit of a slow exit out of turn 3 for Thomas Chrisman. Puts him under pressure from the 17 of George Zeminski. Can't get by up at the Vanderstor Racing hairpin, and they'll rock it down. That Bolton Motorsports back straight away for the first time with a small little battle again forming for second while the rest of the field spreads apart. Taylor.
Yeah, it really is. Everyone's just going to pick and choose their time when to go for the attack. I mean, this is now a race where it is going to be you against the track for the most part with these weather conditions here. Very wet, slippery surface. A lot of the drivers now, of course, utilizing the rain tires, the MG rain tires, for the duration of today's activities. As we keep an eye on that battle for second, one driver is off. The 44 of Caden Roulette is off and out of the race for today.
Yeah, Caden Roulette out already, I believe. He did cross the line at the end of that first lap, was about 40 seconds back. Thomas Chrisman here, you can see as well, they've modified the back sector. We can't get as good of a view. Good run through this this chicane, the Cannonball Storage chicane onto the front stretch. That stayed normal, but they did cut out one part of the racetrack just to make sure that we weren't driving through puddles and hydroplaning there. So everything else still normal. You can see the water pushed offline a little bit, and through turn number 1, a pretty normal line for the cadet drivers. Over to turn number 2, I think maybe more of the outside groove. They'll have a little more grip than going on the standard racing line down the inside. But there's a good little pass attempt. That's the number 17 of George Zeminski getting through. He gets by Thomas Chrisman out of turn number 3. Change for second, and while they continue to fight for second, we'll send it down to Matteo Giuliano down on the grid as we get set for more action. Matteo.
Thanks, Xander. I got Anthony Tramontano on the grid trying out some go-kart racing today. He's got an old Rotax motor that he's about to go out in and tag novice now. this is kind of your element. You're going to be kind of doing a lot of adjustments through the turns. As you do a lot of modified racing, you're used to working the wheel all the time. So tell me, how does it feel to be here at Northeast Karting Challenge? What do you think of karting, and what's the big difference?
I think it's a lot of fun. I mean, I've never done something like this in my life. And, coming from the dirt background, you're sliding around all the time with high horsepower. So it's kind of in my element here to do this. The only thing I'm not used to turning right. That's a new thing for me. But we're figuring it out.
Well, you're definitely figuring it out, and you did a great job. Good luck in your race. Back up to you, Xander.
Thanks, Mateo. There you go, hearing from a driver from a different discipline. Like Mateo mentioned, though, this is going to be very similar to that kind of dirt track style racing where you're just searching for grip and it changes lap to lap. That's, of course, the big dynamic of the oval short track dirt track racing is the track just is a constant progression throughout a single session where you're searching every single lap. What you did the lap before to get through the corner is a little different than the next time, and that's the same for these young guns in Girard Construction Cadet as well, having to search for grip, try and go a little bit quicker in different ways, but ultimately every corner is just new. The rain is still lightly falling to kind of keep the track dusted and wet enough that we're not seeing a big progression in lap times. Their second lap for everybody was around the same as their third. Not a lot of drivers really picked up a lot of time. The only one really making up a lot of headway on his own laps has been George Zeminski there in the blue and white Tony kart that's got around Thomas Crispin a lap ago and started to pull away from him. Thomas was on him going down the front stretch to turn number one, but George has pulled quite a bit away from him here in the end of that first sector through the middle part of the racetrack, and now that kind of back inner loop. They're both trailing race leader Max McCarron by about 6 seconds at the moment, and we're just around the halfway marker here because 2.5 minutes plus 2 laps for Max McCarron. That extra 2 laps will be pretty lengthy as we've only got 3 completed in the initial 3 to 4 minutes here with 6 minutes complete this time. That'll be 4 laps in total as they're running about 1.5 minutes. Got another driver off there. That again was the 44 of Caden Roulette that Taylor called out earlier just at the edge of the chicane. Still checking out his go-kart. He should be able to probably drive into the scale lines. That'll make it a quick transition to the second group on the lineup here. But 2 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Max McCarron just kind of cruising. That time by, not any bit faster than that opening lap that he really scorched at a 131.5. It was a 131.9. So holding station, running even. And, he's about 1.5 seconds still faster than anybody else on the circuit. So that gap just continuing to open up for the number 146 here in the wet. We'll ride around with him here as you can see just a wide line there at the Vanderster Racing hairpin. You mainly want to avoid the rubber that gets laid down on the standard racing line because that becomes more slippery than the uncovered parts of the racetrack that don't get all that rubber laid down. That rubber is a lot more grip when the dry. It's a lot less grip in the wet. So McCarron going by. There's a look at the second place group here with George Zeminski coming through the infield or towards the back sector. There's a look as well back to Thomas Chrisman on the full tilt racing Tony kart. Max Mitev after his spin he's at least about even to the speed of George Zeminski and Thomas Crispin, but with that spin taking place, he's about 10 seconds away from them. He was able to get around Kristen Thomason not long ago. That moved him back up into 4th, so decent recovery for Max Mitev, but that'll about be where it ends. Man, that was a big moment for Thomas Crispin. You could see him, Taylor. He was full opposite lock going through that double left-hander. Nearly went off the racetrack. Great save by the 152.
A really great save and a great learning opportunity of how to control your race car in these wet conditions here as we watch him come across the line. We should be getting the 2-to-go signal next time by for your leaders as they work their way down into the full tilt race in turn number 1. And we just saw a couple of laps ago these two, both him and Zeminski. Zeminski was almost sideways pretty much coming through turn 1 earlier. So both of them really struggling with trying to find the handling and the grip they need to get around the circuit. As there you see a little bit of a tail happiness right there from the 152 of Thomas Crispin.
And that'll be expected. I mean, they're going to be trying, especially in Thomas's case, to go a little bit faster, push the limits a little more, see if he can't close that gap up to Zeminski after losing out on him. And it's just been about a tenth or two. It's not been a big gain lap to lap for George, but enough to just open that gap, get far enough away he doesn't have to worry about Thomas being all too close to him. Here's the next group a little bit further down the line. That is going to be the battle for 4th right now that we're picking up here with Kristen Thomasian and I believe Max Mitev as well. So Mitev and Thomasian We spoke about Maitev getting by him a lap ago. Now Thomasian has been able to get back around Max Maitev. So a good run for Kristen Thomasian to get himself back to 4th. Rebound, and again, that's exactly what Thomas Chrisman is trying to do at the moment. Here comes your leader across the line. 2 to go for Max McCarrum, and should be a cruise to the finish at this point. A very well put together race to this point so far.
It really is. I mean, he has been running consistent. The first time now was just 2 laps ago. He's dipped down into the 132 bracket. Still, though, over a second in 2 seconds faster than Zeminski and Thomas Chrisman as we watch him work his way through the circuit a couple of more times.
Yeah, he's got a lap and a half to go here. The lead is over 10 seconds. It's a healthy margin for our race leader, Max McCarrum, as he rounds that top of the hill hairpin, heads down the backstretch now. The gap was actually closer to 10 seconds, of the lap prior. Stayed or just now, just opened up fully to 10 seconds as the track looks like it may have just slowed a little bit. Thomas Chrisman has found some more speed. He picked up a bit on George Zeminski, but still is about a second away. Zeminski was the one who slowed down the most off his personal time. That time by faded back a little bit. Max Maitev did get back around Kristen Thomason, so good battle for 4th. 2nd and 3rd is what we're watching. Yellow flags are waving up the road. Don't know what for. I don't know if we've got a lapper that's spun, but the yellows are waving over here. Oh, we've got one off. That is going to be that was Caden Roulette, so he was able to get back going. So Caden Roulette out. White flag in the air, though, this time by all clean and green, at least out front for Max McCarrum. We'll go back down to Matteo Giuliano for more.
I'm here with Spencer Patterson, who's running in the tag senior category. He's got a Rotax motor. He had a pretty solid day yesterday. You were able to do pretty well in your class, and you're going to be approaching the rain today, and definitely you're going to be starting in a good starting spot. Tell me, how did you feel about your run yesterday, and how are you going to try to approach this wet weather today?
I felt good about yesterday. It's been a while since I've been in the kart, so it was good to get back out there and see I'm still competitive. Today's going to be exciting, though, with the rain. Just going to try and survive, basically.
Well, it's a great equalizer, as they say. And have you ever done a rain race before? Is this going to be your first time doing something like this?
I have, but it was years ago. So just trying to get back into it. Just get back into it.
Thank you so much, Spencer. I'll back up to you.
Thanks, Mateo. We'll go back here to Max McCarrum as the yellows still wave for Caden Roulette. He was able to get one more lap in before going off here at the top of the back sector. That will probably end his race, though, as he's off to the side. And as for Max McCarrum, a smooth run all the way through. He will make his way through the double left, skip that chicane here today, so a longer straightaway. And right here, yellow's waving again. I think Caden Roulette might have gone around one more time, and he has. He spins in that final section, presented by Cannonball Storage. Down to the front stretch, though, all perfect from the start. Got the lead by lap 2 on turn 2. Lap 1, never looked back. Max McCarrum wins the pre-final here in Girard Construction Cadet. George Zeminski versus Thomas Chrisman. It got close here a lap ago as they come out of that final section of the racetrack. Nothing going to change there. No, it will. Thomas Chrisman gets back around. And he ends up second. In fact, Zeminski has not crossed the line. I don't know where George Zeminski went.
George Zeminski had off on turn 1 coming on the white flag during that interview we saw. So tough break for Zeminski, as should be him coming around. Nope, not him yet. So we got to wait a little bit more as Max Maitev will pick up 3rd place.
Good catch, Taylor. My apologies there. So unfortunate for George Zeminski. He's out and at least was off. And that'll wrap up Girard Construction Cadet. So couple more thrills and spills. Caden Roulette has a few of his own. There crossing the line, that's going to be Christian Thomason. He'll take over forward. Zeminski from 2nd, falling all the way down the order to 5th by the end of it all. 1 down. 7 classes still to come for pre-finals, and then to run back through them all here. The cadets get parked until about 12:15 when their main event will come back up. Stick with us, folks. You're watching Kart Chasers coverage of the Northeast Karting Challenge Fall Nationals.
Hi, I'm Frank from Gabriel Sports Car, owner and operator of Gabriel Sports Car. We're proud to be part of the Glasserit family. We're capable of doing everything from a rotisserie restoration to painting. All things are possible here with Glasserit products and Gabriel Sports Car's knowledge. When we're done with your vehicle, with the Glasserit products and the passion that we have, it'll look better than showroom condition.
Kart's on track now here for the Tag Novice and 206 group. They'll just, I believe, go green out of the pit lane here as they did yesterday and just get to turn some laps on the racetrack. We don't have a ton in the total turnout, but as they make their way up here, this is the entry-level divisions for both here for those that just buy a cart and get right on in. Anthony Tramontana, Edward Atkinson, Bill Plyer, and David Baker, all of them on brand new karts. No, we will get a start here as they take the cut through there. So that's cool. They'll get to do a full start as they come to green. So Full Tilt Racing, Tag Novice, and 206 to help bring in some new drivers to the Northeast Karting Challenge. Will make their way through the tram lines to the green, and we're underway here with Tag Novice and 206. And as they get set to have some fun, let's go down back to pit lane with Matteo Giuliano, see who he's caught up with now. Matteo.
Got Brian Daniele here on the grid, going to be running in 100cc. Got the rain today, definitely a different approach than yesterday. Tell me, what was it like yesterday for you being trying to challenge your way through the heat, and then now you have the challenge of the wet today?
It throws a whole nother wrench into it. As far as setup, everything I was planning on working today in the dry is out the window. So I guess it's a even level playing field now.
Awesome. Well, you do got some really fast drivers out here, the likes of Ethan O-Ring, Liam Kerper. Do you think you'll be able to take the fight to them, maybe take a win?
I'm going to try to get one for Team Ferris Racing. And, yeah, they're good competitors, and I'll try to beat them.
Brian Daniel, you're going to try to get it done in 100cc. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Mateo. Here's the on-track fighting a little bit. This is, of course, the difference in power, which in the rain, the horsepower difference doesn't matter as much, but there is a look at the difference on the straightaway once they can get that down. The Briggenstein 206 on that OTK, and then the Rotax power plant on the Bureau Art. As they'll come around, we'll put one lap in the books here this time, get the field all set and sorted. That is, I believe, Edward Atkinson in the 79, potentially, as they come towards the start-finish line to go the first lap through in the 8 minutes plus 2 laps distance for your tag novice and 206 drivers. That's David Baker, who leads the field in the number 79 Burrell. Then you have the 222 of Edward Atkinson in second. He's listed as the number 9. Then it should be Anthony Tramontana and then Bill Plyer, I think, coming on by, but we'll confirm that as the day goes on. In the meantime, we continue to watch them make their way through the Full Tilt Racing Tag Novice and 206 drivers. We will keep our eyes on the weather, of course. Like we mentioned here, the main events will start a little bit sooner. If you want to get to watch those will be on the KC Premium Network only. That's if you hit that join button there down below the YouTube stream to be able to watch the main events this afternoon. They started $9.99 a month, and it's got a busy month of racing. Next weekend, doubleheader, the Rotax Grand Nationals at Newcastle Motorsports Park, the Texas Sprint Racing Series season finale at Speed Sports Racing Park in Houston. The following week, another great weekend of action, the season finale of the Stars Championship Series at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati. Then we go to Newcastle Motorsports Park for the Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals. And to cap off this big road stretch that we have will be the U.S. Pro Kart Series at Trackhouse Motorplex. So if you're just joining us, if you're just watching, there's a lot of awesome karting coming, especially over the next few weeks, as the entries are really going to only tick up weekend by weekend, ending off with probably over 450 drivers at those CKNA Grand Nationals. On deck is the 100cc Masters and Seniors presented by New Century Financial and Miami USA East. That'll be coming your way shortly. We'll keep the cameras on the drivers here on track and also allow Matteo Giuliano to continue to get us more intel of the 100cc class coming your way. Let's go back here to Matteo Giuliano for some more. Here we're about 3 minutes away, plus 2 laps from the checkered flag here in Tag Novice with Anthony Tramontana leading over David Baker and then Edward Atkinson. Go ahead and take it away, Matteo.
I'm here with Chris Harrower on the grid, is about to be in the 100cc category. You got drivers at the likes of Brian Daniele, Ethan O-Ring, and Liam Kerper that are going to be out on the grid. Going to be going all for the win. Pretty tough field here. You have some speed. You're going to be attacking the rain today. How are you going to attack the start, and what are you going to try to do to get the job done?
Hopefully work with O-Ring and Daniele to keep up with Kerper. He's been pretty fast, so hopefully we don't fight and we can keep up and hope for a good race. So
Awesome. Good luck, Chris. Back up to you, Xander.
Thanks, Mateo. We'll keep our eye on more and more to come here from 100cc Senior and Master as the drivers are now just less than 2 minutes plus 2 laps away from the checkered flag, and this is Group 2. Following the 100cc Senior and Master division, next up will be Tag Junior in Group 4. The 5th seed will have Shifter, presented by NSW Mechanical. IM USA East 100cc Junior will go off in the 6th seed. Then the 2 stacked classes, Tag Masters, presented by Fulcrum Competition and Bolton Motorsports, and Tag Senior, presented by IAMA USA East and Race Rotax, will run at the top of the order. That's, again, all still rolling your way on track still. The entry-level divisions, Tag Novice, and 2:06 with a minute 15 plus 2 laps to go. With just a little more left to go here, let's go down to you, Mateo. What do you got?
Alex Jilimick on the grid here. He's got a couple carts to pass here, but he's going to be starting today in the wet. Now, you definitely got a challenge here today, but what would be a minimum result for you that you can come out of here with a good day with?
I think I'll get P5 and then see what I can do in the pre-final. Hopefully it dries up. But, yeah, just got to be cautious and have fun.
Well, he's got a calm head, and he's going to be ready to go. Back up to you, Xander, as we get more intel on the grid.
Thanks, Mateo. We'll keep our eye on it here. 25 seconds plus 2 laps to go for the 79. Anthony Tramontana on the barrel continues to roll. He'll come through the chicane. This time it'll be borderline of whether or not he gets the double sticks. We'll keep our eye on it. Through the dog leg. Might just get it under the gun to get an extra lap. And he will, so just barely gets in. With about 5 seconds left on the clock. It'll be 3 to go here as he heads down to turn number 1. All right, now as the timer hits 0, 2 to go next time. Mateo's got some more. Go ahead, let's go down to our fastest driver in 100cc Masters, Gallo Barros.
We got Gallo Barros here on the grid. Definitely got some serious speed out here, especially out of your Masters guys, but you're definitely going to be running the race those senior guys too. They're pretty fast up there. So what's going to be your goal? You have a lot of experience here in NJMP. What would be a good result for you, and how does it feel to be out in the wet today?
Listen, the other kids, they are not showing the other masters, so I have to keep up with those kids. So, that's why they said the rain makes the difference between the kids and the men. So let's see how works everything.
And as you heard, rain is the great equalizer. And Gallo Barros, he's somebody who will never back down from a good go-kart race, and he's going to try to go for it to try to keep up with these guys. Back up to you, Xander.
Thanks, Mateo. We are watching this group come to the line now. There's a nice little sign of respect from, I believe, David Baker with the 2 to go signal given through the dog leg and down to turn number 1 for the number 79 of Anthony Tramontana. Lap and a half remaining here in the pre-final for Tag Novice and 2:06 presented by Full Tilt Racing. Headed over to the Gabriel Sports Car turn number 2. Spin out over in the Full Tilt Racing turn 1. A little bit of a bobble right on screen. But hey, he's in good spirits at least, and he'll keep it going and get back underway. Once again, 100cc Master, 100cc Senior, a final call to the grid as those guys and girls are on deck, getting set to go right after this. And here we go, coming out of that final sector here, down the dogleg towards the checkered flag. The 79 of Anthony Tramontana will take the pre-final win here in tag novice. And the rest of the field will work their way through the back sector. A big spread amongst them all. Lots of good learning here in the wet conditions. Checkered flag in the air here for the Northeast Karting Challenge's second group of 8. 6 more races coming your way here for pre-final action. 100cc Senior, 100cc Master coming up next here right after this. As 100cc Senior and 100cc Masters engines begin to roll to life here, let's go down to Matteo Vigano for a quick update down on the grid.
Yeah, the Touring Car Championship team, they just had to rush to the grid to make sure to get Rob Torres out there. Rob Torres was not able to do some running yesterday, but he's able to get out there, and he is going to be on the grid. And the 920 is going, and they're rolling on the grid, ready to get 100cc underway.
wild update there from the Touring Car Championship team here with a couple of drivers that had an issue there on the grid. Now as we get set here for IME USA East, New Century Financial Group, 100cc Senior and Master. It was about 4 drivers kind of all battling it out yesterday. Liam Kerper, Chris Harrower, Brian Daniele, and Ethan O-Ring. Today looks like we're down just a couple as they head onto the front stretch, but Kerper still looks good. Harrower as well on the other side of the front row. Gallo Barros is leading the Masters field. We won't go green on the first time by, so we'll send them around again here, and Liam Kerper can bring us maybe a little bit slower to get that last bit of the group just to form up here coming out of turn number 6 on the racetrack. So the Mike Doty Racing LN kart of Liam Kerper ready for more action and hopefully ready to dominate. He has easily walked away in both heat races. It looked like it was going to be pretty close after qualifying. He didn't get the pole position in the time session, but once we got into race conditions, Liam was all but untouchable. As soon as he could get out in front, nobody could track him back down. Brian Daniele was probably the second best, it looked like, at the end of the day yesterday in Heat 2, just still about a half-tenth to a tenth off of the 944s. But the rain is the big change here. That is a huge change in the day. You heard from Gallo Barros in his interview. He said, well, the rain really makes the men stand out from the boys. Let's find out here down at turn number 1. Kerper, side by side with Harrower, has to go right through that massive puddle on the inside curb, and now to the outside of 1. He's going to fall back a couple of spots, back to about 4th. Ethan O-Ring sending it on the inside. Brian Daniele spins there out of 3rd, and Harrower goes wide to avoid him. Brian Daniele around over in turn number 2. So now it's Kerper over Ethan O-Ring, and then moving up there into that 3rd position, I believe that's Alex Jelnick on the comp cart with a good start as well. That's the 625 indeed of Jelnick. So Alex moves up into 3rd, and Ethan O-Ring might have had 2 other drivers that would have helped him try to challenge Liam Kerper. They both go out and to the wayside down in turn number 2. So a wild opening couple of corners here in 100cc Senior. You go back from the 3 of them, you have, of course, Gallo Barros, who leads the way in Masters in that all blacked out machine. That's the number 771. He's up to 4th overall. So that's the other benefit of the rain, is with the lower speeds, the weight differential from the Senior to the Masters doesn't matter as much. If anything, it can be a bit of an advantage in terms of getting grip in the car, just a little bit slower on the straightaways. So Gallo Barros doing a good job getting through the opening couple corners, maintaining his lead, and the same for Liam Kerper, who pulls a good launch out of that Cannonball Storage chicane down the front straightaway towards turn number 1. He'll put 1 lap in the books here. Ethan O-Ring trailing about a second back as they go to the first corner.
Yeah, both of these drivers are really going to showcase some speed here. They have checked out by about 1.3 seconds over Alex Jelnick, and then Gallo Barros is right there in that spot in 4th position, leading your 100cc Master category, but starting to make up some ground to maybe have a top 3 overall finish for him as he is closing in on Alex Jelnick in 3rd position.
Ethan O-Ring on screen here in the 945, one of many drivers that has been very active on trying to raise some funds to do some more racing. Just a few weeks ago, got a first start in a Spec Racer Ford, put it on the podium at Pittsburgh in his first ever time racing over in the car racing world. And here in the karting scene as well, he doesn't get to do too much national action. This is as close as he'll get of getting to race against the likes of Liam Kerper, who's had a pretty active national season. Brian Daniele, of course, is in championship contention in the Stars Series and 100cc Masters as well. So for Ethan O-Ring, and not to mention the hard work he does for the Northeast Karting Challenge, helping manage the social media and try to promote this brand new regional championship here up in the upper Northeast. With the 80 entries here, considering everything, not a bad turnout. Had we had drier conditions on the forecast, might have been up in the hundreds, and having about 5 to 7 drivers more per class would have been more than welcome. But the racing's been, for the most part, in the classes with double-digit turnouts, pretty solid. This class was decent yesterday. Here's a look in terms of racing as well. How about Chris Harrower making his way back up? We saw him have to go wide through the grass to get around the spinning Brian Daniele. He's already gotten by Gallo Barros. Last time by with the pass, he didn't go a ton quicker than the top 3. We'll see if Chris Airwork can find any more speed. Maybe try to track down the next one on the line would be fellow comp car driver Alex Jelnick. Your Brian Daniele update as well. He's about 5 more seconds back from Chris Airwork, currently 6th overall, 5th in class here ahead of Paul Martin's Banana Man, Gavin Judnick, Juan Cosme. We are missing just a handful. Wayne Whitson Jr., Frank Rapisarda, Tony Buenaventura, all a scratch here for the morning in the wet conditions. If the rain gets out and stays away, you might get back to slick tires eventually later today, but you can see the track surface still very dark, and oh no, problems for Alex Jelnick in the 6:25. He's gone off. Way off out in the grass over here on the outside edge of what looks to be up by the Vanderster Racing hairpin maybe, or maybe over by turn number 2. So Alex Jelnick, what a great run he had going, and he goes off the racetrack, Taylor.
Yeah, a tough break for him, having such a good run inside the top 3 overall. But yeah, he just lost it going into the entry of the VDSR Racing hairpin at the top of the hill as we pick up our leader, Liam Kerper, coming around to complete another lap, 3.5 minutes plus 2 laps.
Kerper that time by wasn't really extending the lead, didn't really get it a ton smaller either. A 129.4, Ethan O-Ring a 129.3. It came down just a 1/10 of a second. Liam probably on cruise control here. Ethan trying to dig a little bit deeper and go a little bit faster. He, again, gave up that second on the opening lap, kind of avoiding everything. Let's go down to pit lane here with Matteo Giuliano with some more driver interviews. What do you have for us, Matteo?
Thank you, Xander. I got Luke Fedowitz on the grid. He's going to be starting this pre-final P6. We're on green tires today, so we all call that the great equalizer in sport. Going to be very slippery out there, especially with this very long, high-speed track. What's going to be your goal to finish, and how are you going to approach this start?
It's going to be hectic out there, but I'm just going to try and stay calm, make up some positions. I love the rain. Of course, it's the great equalizer, as you guys are saying. So I'm just super excited, super stoked to get out there and get ready for this race.
Well, you heard it from him. Luke Fedowitz going to be attacking this Tag Junior field. Up to you guys.
Thanks, Matteo. Cool to see Luke Fedowitz in good spirits here. It's not everyone that's super excited when the rain does hit, but nonetheless, for him to be here this weekend, maybe it's a better look for Luke. He was decent yesterday in Tag Junior. Not terribly far off, but not maybe the fastest driver either. If he can take up for that in the rain. We saw also the big difference in the overall racing action between those Rotax-powered machines and the X30-powered packages, with the X30s having a little more top end. The Rotax probably be a little better, you would think, in the rain, but more than anything, the equalizer part that Mateo's referencing is equipment won't matter nearly as much, especially horsepower-wise. Driver on your screen, Ethan O-Ring, said he's been struggling a little bit with horsepower on his Full Tilt Racing K100-powered machine. That kind of goes away when you do get into the wet. It helps to almost have a little less horsepower and not be spinning the tires too much. So that's going to be interesting for us to watch, the dynamic between the two Rotax and the IAME X30. Of course, they're scored separately, raced together for fun, but that's all coming up next here in Tag Junior, presented by IAME USA Easton Race Rotax. For the full for the New Century Financial Group 100cc Senior and Master Division, co-sponsored with IAME. They've got a minute plus 2 laps to go. Liam Kerper long gone out front. He's opened that gap now to almost 2 seconds. Back to Ethan O-Ring. He'll come to the line this time by for what should be 3 laps to go. Next time by, the timer will hit 0, and he'll get that 2 to go signal. And again, these pre-finals were slated to be 12 minutes. We've cut them down to 8. Try and make it a little bit easier to get through all of our sessions and hopefully beat some more inclement weather that could be threatening us in the afternoon. Mateo, what do you got on pit lane?
Got Xavier from John's Tent on the grid. You got a lot of karts ahead of you, and we're on the rain today, so definitely going to be very challenging conditions out there. What's your mindset right now, and how do you feel about being out here today?
We're a bit further back than we were hoping, but I did slicks and rain all summer, so I'm feeling pretty confident.
Well, he apparently has been racing in the rain all summer, so that he should be in that flow, and he's going to try to make up some spots. Back up to you guys, Xander.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. It's great training to be able to be on slick tires in the wet. It's a whole lot harder, obviously, than the grooved wet weather tires that we normally get to run on. So that could be a huge help for him. As we head down the backstretch there, you can see the timer's gone to 0 at the top left corner of your screen. Ethan O-Ring, little look over the shoulder. Nothing changing there. Nothing changed on the lineup at all here, Taylor. Liam Kerper is still your leader through the back sector. behind Galo Barros there. It's Banana Man about 4 seconds back. Paul Martin's another 8 seconds away from him. Actually 8 back from Galo is Banana Man. Then Paul Martin's another 7 back. Gavin Judnick around 20 seconds back. Juan Cosme a little further even away, and he's, I believe, either gone a lap down or pulled on in. Of course, Alex Jelnick, we saw him with a DNF earlier. That's why he's down the leaderboard. Now with Liam Kerper coming through turn number 1. A healthy margin over to turn number 2 for the Mike Doty Racing LN car drivers. He just kind of tiptoes around the hairpins here. It's a smooth Sunday morning drive. You can see very little movement out of the hands of Liam Kerper. He's not really pushing the limits at this point anymore. It's been nice and easy for him, and as he'll climb the hill to the Vanderstar Racing hairpin and head down the backstretch one and a half more times around New Jersey Motorsports Park, gives us a little more time to go down to a winner already here today. Mateo?
We got Max Mockerum down here, winner from our cadet class today. You looked really good in the rain out there. You must love this, no?
Yeah, I really love the rain, but it's hard to get the kart rotated. So yeah, I had a lot of fun racing this weekend, and it was fun racing with Thomas.
Well, you had a great battle with Thomas. He'll get the W. He's going to try to seal the deal in the final later this afternoon. Up to you, Xander.
Thanks, Mateo, as Ethan O-Ring here in 100cc Senior climbs over the curbing to come and see what should be the white flag this time by Liam Kerper through the chicane. Has kind of watched that gap open. It's cut down a little bit over the last lap or two. Not a ton and nothing to worry about. Across the start-finish line straight, 1 to go. There's the margin. That's first back to second. Liam Kerper in the 944 through turn number 1, safely out in front here as they exit and head over to turn number 2. He's just, played this one pretty well, Taylor. Built the gap up and then since then's kind of turned things back down. He was almost 9/10 slower than Ethan O-Ring the lap before. So he really slowed the pace down to make sure that he was going to be safe to finish this one. I don't feel like the track's getting any bit slower. I think he's just really trying to take it easy and nurse this one to the finish.
No, it's not getting any slower. In fact, last time by Ethan O-Ring ran a 1:28:05. That's almost 9/10 of a second faster than your race leader, Liam Kerper. So it's picking up a little bit. Looking outside right now at the weather, it's now just gone to a steady drizzle, not really a downpour like we saw this morning and what we could possibly see this afternoon. So, but for these drivers here, Liam Kerper just trying to bring it home. But O-Ring is closing and closing fast in these final couple corners.
Yeah, just not going to have any time there. A good run at the end to kind of show some strength and flex a little muscle. Maybe you put some anxiety in the head of Liam Kerper going into the main if it stays wet. However, he's got the gap. He's got enough time to run out the clock. We'll go to that cannonball storage chicane one more time through. Left, right, left, and then onto that right-handed dogleg, kind of 2 right-handed turns at full speed, even in the wet. Power down and all the way through. Liam Kerper will collect the win here in 100cc Senior. Ethan O-Ring again ends up second. A great drive back through for Chris Harewood to end up in third, of course, helped a little bit by Alex Jelnick going out. Brian Daniele ends up in the 4th spot after his spin on the opening lap, so he ends kind of around neutral. Galo Barros will score the win in 100cc Masters when he comes across the line here in about 8 seconds. Mateo?
Got Nicholas Casero on the grid. Talked to you yesterday. A lot of rain running today. Obviously, you're happy to be out on track, but definitely got a decent amount of karts in front of you. How are you going to approach this Avenger part of the track to try to get up there, and what's your minimum position you'd like to finish?
I'm just hoping for a good result. Hopefully, like all the karts will, they'll get bottled up and I could somehow squeeze through. I'm just hoping to, after having my brake failure yesterday, starting in the back, so hopefully can make my way around some karts, take advantage of mistakes from other karts, and hopefully just get up there and get a good result.
Nicholas Cacero's got a clear head. He's been racing with us in the Northeast for a number of years now, and I've seen him grow a lot, so he's going to put his best foot forward today. Up to you, Xander.
Thanks, Mateo. Here's a look at the results. That's in 100cc Senior. Kerper, O-Ring, Harewood, Daniele, Banana Man, Judnick, Cosme, and then, of course, in the overall, Galo Barros splits the middle of them there as the winner in 100cc Master, and on down through the rest of the field. Paul Martins, Robert Torres end up second and third in that middle division, I believe. So 100cc Senior and Master wrapped and done. One driver to be picked out, that's Alex Jelnick, and then we'll get set to go here with Tag Junior.
Want to experience a thrill of high-speed go-kart racing? Well, we got you covered because here at Full Tilt Racing, we provide racing opportunities all the way from outings racing our rental karts to our high-performance competition racing karts. We offer track support at Northeast Karting Challenge events as well as other high-level races around the country. Visit our website and reach out to get on track now.
Hi, I'm Frank from Gabriel Sports Car, owner and operator of Gabriel Sports Car. We're proud to be part of the Glassred family. We're capable of doing everything from a rotisserie restoration to painting. All things are possible here with Glassred products and Gabriel Sports Car's knowledge. When we're done with your vehicle, with the Glassred products and the passion that we have, it'll look better than showroom condition.
Welcome back to New Jersey Motorsports Park. Tag Junior, presented by Raised Rotax and Miami East, getting set to go. Matteo Giuliano down on grid. What do you got?
I got Thomas Crixman, the driver that battled Max Mockerum for that win in Cadet. Tell me, how did you feel about your performance? What are you going to try to do in the final?
I felt good about that performance. I'm going to try to get better during turns in the final.
Awesome. He's going to definitely try to go for that W. Now, Tag Junior's getting ready to get underway. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Mateo. Here we go. Coming to green. Cole Wilson there on the left. Then Daniel Binder on the right. Binder's going to get the jump into turn number one. Remy Andretos right there on the inside. He'll slot into second. Wilson back to third. And they'll all survive through the opening corner. Let's see, can we all make it through turn number two? Hopefully nobody locking the brakes up too hard and spinning out there. Nearly three wide back in the middle of that swarm, but all good. And it's Daniel Binder that leads us up the hill to the Vanderster Racing hairpin for the first time. Behind him, there's Tyler Kolshorn all the way high. Down low was Remy Andretos running an alternate line to the race leader, trying to get extra grip. Hurt him a little bit on the run down the Bolton Motorsports backstretch. but he's clear. We're good through the chicane towards that CMC inner loop section. Oh, look at this, big off further back. Wow, way off the racetrack, and a heck of a save by Casey Mosley. He'll only lose one spot in the process, but a huge bobble there that he recovers. Now he's getting swallowed a little bit as they battle with him. That's for 6th. Getting through for 5th looked to be Luke Fedowitz. But up front, 4-car train. Little mistake from Cole Wilson puts him under pressure from Tyler Colshorn. And Daniel Binder goes off out of the lead. Binder drops a tire. Move Remy Andratos now to the point. Remy will lead us at the end of lap number 1 after starting 3rd through the dog leg. 1 complete, and it's not over yet. A great fight forming here in Tag Junior.
Really good fight here as we pick up the leaders as they cross the line. It's Andratos, Wilson, Tyler Colshorn, and then Daniel Binder, who had his off there moments ago. We're watching the Remy and continuing on. Had a good run yesterday in heat race number 2 in the Tag Junior category. Looking to try to see if he can capitalize this and maybe try to get the pre-final win as they climb up the hill over to the VDSR to light pole turn.
Yeah, Cole Wilson applying a lot of pressure there to Remy Andratos. Let's see what kind of line Remy takes this time. Does he go to the low side? Does he go up high? Goes about center racetrack there. We're seeing by him going down to the inside. That again kind of gives some hope for the dry line slowly beginning to form. We're still light years away from that point with the rooster tail still coming off the back of the rain tires here, but as they work their way from the outside in some of the corners down to the standard racing line, that's what will tell you that we're getting closer and closer to drying conditions. Either way, the racing's been phenomenal here in Tag Junior. And for Remy, as he takes him out of that inner loop and towards the back section of the racetrack, only a car length from him back to Cole Wilson, another car length to Tyler Colshorn, and Daniel Binder has recovered well from dropping a tire in the grass out of the lead. He's not far back there in 4th, just needs another good run. Great run through that double left and over the curb for Cole Wilson. Let's see how he can exit this chicane. Looks pretty planted. Yeah, he is. Big run coming for the number 12 to put 2 laps down.
2 laps on the book. Here comes a big run for Cole Wilson as they head down to the full tilt racing turn number 1. A little look over the shoulder for Remy Andratos as they head down into the turn 1. Looks to the inside. Wilson can't quite seem to get his nose to the inside of him. Has to wait as they climb up to turn number 2. He'll try to put the nose there, put the bumper to him, push him a little bit out of the way. They'll get sideways almost as they climb up the hill.
Yeah, he was right there on him. Then here we go up to the Vanderstor Racing hairpin. Both of them a little sideways out of turn number 4 up to the top of the hill. Turn 5 is the way it's labeled here. And then down that backstretch, Cole's going to get a run. We'll see if it's enough to kind of stay on his bumper through that chicane. It looks like it is. He's right there on him. Just needs to kind of position himself better, but Remy gets a little better launch out of that right, and that'll kind of open him back up. This section looks really good for the Sodi car driver. Lots of front-end bite for Remy Andratos. Puts him a little bit more sideways in certain sections. The rear steps out, but that extra front end helping him through that back sector from what it looks like here, whereas Cole Wilson's front end a little bit slower, allows him to kind of stay a little more stable, but that touch of understeer in the tight and twisty parts of this racetrack burns him. What makes up time is right here. Look how he's able to kind of point that kart and go power down, just ease it over the curbing. Remy's having to wheel it a lot more as the back end is the one that's kind of lagging a bit. And as they go through the double right, you can see it nets out where Cole Wilson gets right back onto the bumper, loses a little bit at the end of that double right-hander, but staying close to him. That's 3 complete now. Another new fast lap of the race for Remy Andratos. It wasn't a ton better than everybody last time. Cole Wilson was only a 10th off his best, and that lap that Remy put down was only a couple hundredths better than Cole's best on the session. So it's getting a little bit quicker, not a lot. Right now looks about the same as they go up the hill to the VDSR hairpin again. Your update further back down the order, as Remy goes a little bit sideways, is Tyler Colshorn's kind of faded backwards a couple of tenths of a second in 3rd. You can see it's really only those 2 that are into frame. So as they come through, it's Andratos, then Wilson, then this kid, Tyler Colshorn, on the solo kart. And he's got a big gap out back to Daniel Binder as well. Daniel Binder on that number 73 red speed. We saw him have that mistake on the opening lap. I figured he might have been able to rebound a little bit better, but he's still just a bit off the pace from the top 3 drivers. Last time was about 2 seconds slower. The gap to the lead is about 3 seconds to these 2 right here. So through that double left again we go. Wilson just kind of rubber banding with Remy Andratos. He doesn't have to pass him. He's the highest running Rotax. Remy's the highest running X30. They're both going to win their respective category, but nothing like the confidence being the first one to the checkered flag in a pre-final leading into a main event. And, of course, it would help get a better starting position. So as we get down now to 2 minutes plus 2 laps to go, I'm curious, does Cole Wilson want to try and make a move to get around him on that Team Ferris Racing Kart Republic? Is he happy running right in second? We haven't really seen him poke a nose out yet, Taylor. He's just kind of been cruising right there.
Yeah, right now he's just taking his time, not wanting to push the envelope just yet. Maybe even learning a little bit of what line we're seeing Remy Andratos running compared to what he's running as they both slide their way out of the corner, climbing up the VDSR light pole turn as they work their way back down. A little bit of a higher, not completely hitting the apex through there, but will continue to post some big speed off corner exit, especially for Remy as he stretches it out for about 3 kart lanes as they enter towards the CMC Motorsports back section.
Good run through the left. Sacrifice a little bit on the right. Andratos right here really cranks a full lock wheel to get that thing rotated through the right and then the left. And powers right out on exit, pulls that gap back nice and up to a couple of car lengths. On grid, I believe, will be the NSW Mechanical Shifters. Then it'll be time for IAME USA East 100cc Junior, and then we go to Tag Masters and Tag Senior. It'll only be about a 5 or 10 minute break here to quickly switch over from pre-finals to main event action. Again, for those watching right now, if you want to watch the main events, that's exclusive to KC Premium members. So as they head down the front stretch, there's a look at Tyler Coleshorn. That time was a really good lap from Tyler. He picked up some ground on the top 2, closed on in a little bit. So Tyler Coleshorn making up some ground towards Remy and Cole, or at least he was even to them the lap ago. He made up some time the lap prior. So 1.8 seconds back now for Tyler Coleshorn. If he can stay at that consistent pace, he might be able to catch back up to them. They've picked up about a half second over the last couple laps. This time by will be 2 to go. There's a big leap into the corner. A lot of rear end hiking all the way to the high side for Tyler Coleshorn, but looked good. And it looked like he was gaining just a little after losing some time. So maybe that solo kart has some new life in it and he can make a charge back to the top 2. He'll need to be perfect this lap to get anywhere close enough to challenge on the final 2 circuits around, because we're getting to the very end of this IAME USA Race Rotax Tag Junior pre-final. It'll be the Popsicle 6 on the front stretch when they come back around to it. Further down, again, Ethan Trendler yesterday had an engine failure that kept him out of the second heat race. He currently runs 5th. He's picked up 3 spots. Good drive forward. We talked about Shane Stern as well in the number 67 Kart Republic. He runs in that 6th position, also up a couple. Ricky Burbank 7th. Luke Fedowitz has faded down to the 7th or 8th position. Nick Cassara 9th. Xavier Babkine-Osserath 10th. Casey Mosley, Aiden Urbans, and then problems for Ben Henry. He's on the verge of going a lap down after a spin earlier on. He's a little bit slower than the leaders as well for the 353, but he should be okay as they're running about a minute 25. He's about a minute behind them, so even with it all considered, with 2 to go given now, that should be enough time to finish on the lead lap and get the full distance in for Ben. But to the VDSR hairpin we go. That gap of a car length to 2 from Remy Andratos back to Cole Wilson, not changing, staying the same, and that time another new personal best for Remy. Right on par was Cole Wilson at a 27 flat, Coleshorn 27.3. Everybody else about a second or 2 seconds off and further down. Here's a look at a battle further back. That is going to be, I believe, maybe Xavier Babkine-Osserath in the 35. Casey Mosley in the 17. We saw Casey have that big off mowing the lawn at the end of the backstretch earlier in the race here. He's 11th, trying to get around Xavier. Was a second better than him last time by, so maybe the number 17 can make a late race charge towards the 35.
Keep an eye on that as we watch the rest of the field work their way through, getting ready to come to the white flag. Big slide right there for Remy Andratos as he comes up over the curbing a little bit right there. You don't want to get on the painted stuff too much, otherwise you might actually go around as we now watch them head down the short chute through the dogleg. White flag in the air for your race leaders, as it's now going to be a dogfight between the 2 of them to see who can just tiptoe their way around this track good enough to take home the checker flag.
Yeah, that the paint it's like ice, really. I mean, it is just a slip and slide if you end up over on it at all. Here's Cole Wilson on the last lap, though, going to send it on the inside of turn 2. He'll get the lead. Nicely done. Cole Wilson gets through. Down on the inside with just half a lap to go. Slides a little wide. Remy's right there working on him. They're going to go side by side just for a moment up the hill. Now let's see. Does Remy go back to the bottom? He tries to go a little more narrow. Hurts the exit a bit. Cole Wilson got a great launch. He'll pull it over to 4 car lengths down that back straightaway for the final time.
Great run right here by Cole Wilson as he continues to stretch out that lead as they head down the Bolton Motorsports backstretch into the CMC Motorsports back section of the course, into the braking zone. Big slide right there for Wilson. This could open up the door for Remy Andrados as he puts a bumper to him. Tries to get back around as they work. One kart stuck in the grass as they come through this back section. He'll look to the inside, not close enough to shut.
Almost a crossover move there from Remy, but I think he's going to run out of time in that attempt. He lost some ground to Cole Wilson. Wilson all the way to the edge of the racetrack. Remy a little bit more conservative to keep the wheels on the paved stuff. And like Taylor said, the paint is like ice here in the wet, but Cole Wilson navigates this one perfectly. Waits, stalks his prey all race long. Cole Wilson picks up the pre-final win in Tag Junior over Andratos. And Tyler Colshorn kind of looking on back there in third. And it's a bit of a wait here for Daniel Binder on the number 73 black and red speed. He'll come around, collect 4th overall. 5th will go to Ethan Trendler. Good recovery here on this Sunday morning to get himself back to the top 5. There's Shane Stern on the Kart Republic. He'll end up 6th. Ricky Burbank there on the Comp Kart 7th. Luke Fedowitz 8th. Nick Cassara a little bit further back will end up here in 9th on that Full Tilt Racing Tony kart. And then Xavier Babkine. Xavier, I think he went off on that final lap. It's Casey Mosley and Nick Cassara ending 9th and 10th. Xavier falls down to the 11th spot at the end of it all. Aiden Urbans will end up 12th. Ben Henry 13th. Pull up the results for you here for Tag Junior. There's a look at how they wrapped up. And we're still waiting for Xavier to come on by. I believe Aiden Urban's by and off for Xavier Babkin. Osterrath takes him out of contention. And it'll cycle through on the split here. A couple drivers unidentified of which one they're on. There's Remy Andratos, top of the leaderboard in the Miami division over Daniel Binder. Ethan Trendler will get 3rd in class over Nick Costara. And then Nicholas Espendola, who was up front yesterday, out. And then here's a look at the Rotax powered machines. Cole Wilson, Tyler Colshorn, Shane Stern, Ricky Burbank, Casey Mosley, the top 5. NSW Mechanical Shifter coming your way next here as we're halfway through the pre-finals. 4 down, 4 still to go before we get to main event action this afternoon.
Want to experience the thrill of high-speed go-kart racing? Well, we got you covered because here at Full Tilt Racing, we provide racing opportunities all the way from outings racing our rental karts to our high-performance competition racing karts. We offer track support at Northeast Karting Challenge events as well as other high-level races around the country. Visit our website and reach out to get on track now.
NSW Mechanical Shifter trying to get set to go. We're down 1 right now. That's the number 812, Zach Berghoff, late to get off the grid, but he will. That'll allow us to do 1 extra warm-up lap and let the Full Tilt Racing Tony Kart join the rest of the field. So he's able to get back going. Justin White on the Kartworks USA Maranello the number 239, will get set to take us to green here. He was starting from the back to have some fun yesterday. In that second heat, it took him all about 100 feet, Taylor, to work his way to the green with an amazing hole shot.
He certainly was. Of course, that's what the skill that this driver has, especially competing at the national level, and definitely going to be one to watch. Of course, we saw him have a wild ride at Newcastle during the Summer Nationals for SCUSA earlier this year. But, of course, continues on with the Maranello Kart. Of course, Maranello Karts have a great year so far with a lot of wins picking up in the Stars Championship Series. We'll see what they can do this year later on at Cincinnati.
So here they come to the start boxes. We get set for racing action. 4 drivers in total. It's White on the right there in the red and yellow Maranello chassis. The blue and black Team Ferris Racing Tony Kart is Lars Wilson. Second row should have Corey Chase and Zach Berghoff. And it looks good for everyone, so we'll get set to drop the green, and off we go from the line. Justin White will easily get through to the lead to turn number 1. He'll take us through the opening full tilt racing corner, and everyone gets away cleanly. So it's a good start here for NSW Mechanical Shifter. We talk about seat time in the wet. We've only had really 1 to 2 sessions on the Pro National calendar in wet conditions, so this is huge for Justin White to get some more seat time in that and try to go a little bit faster, get more comfortable in the rain on a gearbox package. I'm not sure how many sessions he has in wet weather testing or driving on the gearbox package, but of course we saw that in the Stars Championship Series at Pittsburgh, a last-second change to the wet. He was decent there. Let's go to Matteo Giuliano here after the end of the Tag Junior race is wrapped up. Well, NSW Mechanical Shifters on track with some aftermath interviews.
I got Tyler Colshorn down here, driver in the road tax class. Pretty solid result there. Very, very wet running. Those first 2 laps were absolutely crazy, especially going through the light bulb turn. Run me through it. How'd you feel that race?
Pretty good. Didn't crash, so went well. P3 was also pretty good. Second for Rotex. So we'll see what I can do in the final. Hopefully it goes well. Maybe I could get a win. Who knows? Probably.
Well, you got some good speed, Tyler, and definitely watch out for him because Tyler Colshorn's a very good driver in this area. Thank you. Up to you guys.
Thanks, Mateo. Again, that's Tyler Colshorn, who ended up 3rd in that Tag Junior heat, pre-final. 8 minutes plus 2 laps here for Justin White to start turning some burners here. That opening lap, a 127.4, not any bit faster really than the Tag Juniors. So hopefully he can find a little more speed as he gets more comfortable on that Kartworks USA Maranello. Lars Wilson about 2.5 seconds back at the end of the opening circuit. Corey Chase back in 3rd. Zach Berghoff did not cross the line here at the end of the first lap. I don't know if he's still on track or if we have an issue for the full tilt racing driver. Looks like he is still going. Maybe just a spin there, but actually it looks like no. He's good. Timing just started 1 lap early there on the start. That's what hurt Zach Berghoff. So he's showing his 1 lap down. He is still further back than the front-running trio. But he is all good. There is the 497, Lars Wilson, on the Team Ferris Racing Tony Kart, currently 2nd. As he slides his way through the CMC Motorsports back section and out of it towards that long run, that adjusted straightaway here again. Right here yesterday, they were going left and through a quick chicane. But you can see that's been blocked off to avoid some of the puddling that's come here today. And so it gets the speed a little bit higher and more of a braking zone. Kind of makes it a little bit easier to pass into potentially into this cannonball storage chicane that goes on the front stretch with that longer run. If it stays to the dry, we might get some good racing and last lap, kind of last corner thrills. In the wet, though, everyone's just hanging on. With 5 minutes plus 2 laps to go, we stay here green and racing with the NSW Mechanical Shifters. On deck is the 100cc Juniors. Aurelian Drachos will make his way through the Tag Junior scale line, gets set for his 100cc Junior division. 2nd in Tag Junior, trying to go for a clean weekend sweep at 100cc Junior. That'll be time for Tag Masters to follow in the 7th spot. And then bat and clean up 8th on the day will be Tag Senior. Let's go down to Matteo Giuliano for more. Matteo?
Thank you. I got Omar Wagdy, who's going to be starting towards the back at the senior field for the Sodi team. Listen, the rain, as I've said all day, great equalizer. Anything can happen on this start. How are you going to approach this wet race? Also, it's drying out a little bit, so that could be some other implications as well.
I mean, what I'm going to try to do is stay conservative and smart, keep all 4 wheels on track, and see what kind of luck I have, and take it from there.
Well, this is the sport of opportunity. If you can get that opportunity and something can happen, you can stay out of trouble, you can definitely make something happen, Omar. Good luck.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Back up to you, Xander.
As things continue to roll for us, things just also wrapped up overseas at the FIA KZ Karting World Championships. While we watch Lars Wilson in second, Marinello's having a pretty good day. Niels Troger getting the win in KZ2. And here Marinello and Justin White leading the way in NSW Mechanical Shifter. Huge shout out as well. AJ Myers made it into the main. He was running around the lower 20s for an issue, took him out of contention, the lone American entry. He had good speed through the week, had a rougher qualifying, kind of put him on the back foot, had a mixed bag through the heat races, couple of mid-teen results. One got taken out with a bumper, then a DNF. Drove his way up to 15th in his B pre-final, which where they split him in half. That pre-final weighted like a super heat, 50% towards the main, 50% through the heats, and that put him on the back row. He drove up from 35th to get to about 21st or 22nd before crashing out or having a mechanical. It was just off stream, so not sure what happened to AJ. Marian Kremers, another, of course, name that has been basically an adopted American over the last few years. The last second deal with the Patrizi Corsa Bureau Art team put him in the KZ class. He drove all the way up to 6th before an issue took him out with about 3 laps to go, and was one of the highest running satellite programs. Over there in the KZ class, we technically run under KZ2 formula class regulations here. It's a little more limited, of course, open licensing, whereas over there you need a proper license to get into the KZ Pro category. But for Marian, a last-second effort on the Vortex-powered Bureau Art, drove his way up to 6th, was ahead of factory drivers like Pedro Hiltbrand, Giuseppe Palumba, Ricardo Longi, and then, of course, the win that time, Victor Gustafson was tracking down the eventual winner, just came up close, and then what a battle it was in KZ2 Masters. Closest shifter world championship race in history with Davide Foray coming out as the winner by just a couple of thousandths, who was also here in the States racing at the SCUSA Winter Series earlier this year. Problems off the racetrack, though, pulling in back to our race, and that is for Zach Berghoff. He pulls off to the side and into the scale line, so Zach is done. That'll end his day a bit early for the pre-final to get set for the main event. So Zach was running not terribly far off. Corey Chase is off as well in the 151, 2 laps out. So we're just down to the main 2 at the front of the field. Justin White here in the Marinello. Lars Wilson in the Team Ferris Racing Tony Kart left, continuing an NSW mechanical shifter with a minute 15 plus 2 laps to go for the Kartworks USA driver. And looking to bring Marinello a clean sweep of the weekend here. Poland qualifying, Heat 2, Heat 1 winner. Look right on his way right now for a pre-final win and a dominant run here in the Northeast Karting Challenge Fall Nationals. Through the dog leg, Justin White will come across the line. This time should be 3 laps to go based off the time remaining. Next time by, the double sticks will fly for the number 239. Around in the final section here and through that Cannonball Storage chicane is Justin White. He'll come across the line this time to the white flag. One more lap around. The lap times for Justin have come down to as low as a 1:22. Lars Wilson actually has a faster single lap, but I think that lap was on their cut through. I think he's at the 125s that he's been running has been a little more accurate for the number 239. And Justin, again, a 1:24.9 looks to be his best actually on the full circuit at race pace. So stayed pretty consistent there, a couple seconds quicker than the Tag Juniors. Not too much, but enough. And again, we talked about how horsepower doesn't matter nearly as much in the wet. That's what brings the lap times a little bit closer. Well, he's got the extra gears, and in total of 45 plus horsepower KZ package. You can't exactly put all that into the ground when you don't have the grip. So he really only gets up to speed probably around 10 to 15 miles an hour slower at the end of that back straightaway presented by Bolton Motorsports. But as he goes to the CMC Motorsports section here, you can see he's got it pretty well planted. The line is still it's still dark all the way around. It's getting a little bit better at parts. And with the rain slowly kind of going away, we're slowly getting the track dried up and up. But it's going to be wet tires for the time being and probably into the first couple of mains. We'll see how it looks after the Tag Master and Tag Senior pre-finals if it stays dry all the way through. But through the double left for the final time into that Cannonball Storage chicane, Justin White, a cruise through, a nice and easy day. And the Kartworks USA racing driver aboard that number 239, Marinello, will keep the Marinello pride going. A KZ2 World Championship win and a pre-final win here this morning en route to pole in the main. Justin White wins the heat race here in NSW Mechanical Shifter. Lars Wilson will end in second. Corey Chase, Zach Berghoff, third and fourth. On deck, 100cc Junior when we come back.
I go shit. Are we in commercial? Oh my gosh. Whose camera was on? Whose camera is it on? Is it on mine? Bro.
Want to experience the thrill of high-speed go-kart racing? Well, we got you covered because here at Full Tilt Racing, we provide racing opportunities all the way from outings racing our rental karts to our high-performance competition racing karts. We offer track support at Northeast Karting Challenge events as well as other high-level races around the country. Visit our website and reach out to get on track now.
Hi, I'm Frank from Gabriel Sports Car, owner and operator of Gabriel Sports Car. We're proud to be part of the Glasseret family. We're capable of doing everything from a rotisserie restoration to painting. All things are possible here with Glasseret products and Gabriel Sports Car's knowledge. When we're done with your vehicle, with the Glasseret products and the passion that we have, it'll look better than showroom condition.
and I try to get at least 15th.
You think you can make that work? You're going to have to, if you can hold on there, you'd be surprised at what kind of opportunities you can get. And then let me ask you one more question. Has anybody ever compared you to Marcus Ericsson? Because I feel like we basically got the mini Marcus Ericsson out here.
Many times.
Wouldn't doubt it. Going back up to you, Xander.
Thanks, Mateo and Tom there. Mini Marcus Ericsson. Marcus Ericsson, of course, on track right now for warm-up. Laguna Seca, the NTT IndyCar Series, will get underway in a couple of hours. For Bolton Motorsports, Fulcrum Competition Services Tag Masters, though, Jeff Clyde the leader over Kevin Udasco, Scott Mandel third, Evan Connolly fourth, Gallo Barros is fifth. Bo Amato, after his spin, got back going last lap, had to pull himself out of the turf. And I believe he's sixth and still running, but I'm not 100% certain. On screen is Kevin Udasco there in second on that number 169 purple and pink Cosmic. Scott Mandel third. You can see him hanging it out a little bit sideways, but nobody even close to the speed right now of Jeff Clyde. He is rocking and rolling, was 2 seconds better than both of these guys here, including the man in third on screen, the number 72 of Scott Mandel. So a big lead for Jeff Clyde, already up to 7 seconds in climbing with 2.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go here in this Tag Masters pre-final. Tag Senior is on deck, presented by AMA USA East and Race Rotax. That'll be the next class to roll, and that'll be their final class for a short break here in the action, and then we'll get underway pretty much instantly with Girard Construction Cadets main event. So Tag Masters on circuit right now. Tag Senior will follow. Then you go into Girard Construction Cadet to go back to the top of the board is a big slide. Rear nearly stepped out. That was a heck of a save by Scott Mandel, Taylor.
A really big save right there for Scott Mandel as he tries to gather it back up and hunt down your second place driver as they come through the dog leg here. 2 minutes plus 2 laps left to go between these two. Of course, for Kevin, he's having a good run, trying to keep Scott Mandel behind, and then pretty much everyone else is separated by at least 10 to 15 seconds from this battle here as we watch them go through.
Let's go down here for some more info from Tag Senior. Mateo, what do you got for us for our final class on the board to go out for the pre-final?
All right, yeah, I got Andrew Picario here to be starting in the pre-final here. We're going to be doing some wet running. Looks like it's still a little bit wet, the kind of consistent drizzling, but it can be kind of dry out there. So tell me, how are you going to approach this wet tempest track for the pre-final?
Yeah, I think I'm just going to approach it, you know, it's semi-wet right now, but I'm going to approach it to any other wet race. You know, try and keep a clean race, find out where the grip is early, and try to hit those spots every single lap. And I think we'll go to the front.
Going to have more updates from down here, but I'm going to go back up to you, Xander.
Thanks, Mateo. We'll keep you down on grid and listen for more updates from the Tag Seniors who are avidly watching these Tag Master drivers to try and get a gauge of what the track will look like for them here in just a few moments. We're down now to about 3 laps to go this time by for Jeff Clyde already. It'll be a 7-lap in total pre-final. And again, Kevin Udasco is under pressure from Scott Mandel. Mandel had that big moment a lap ago. You could see him pushing the limits. He's obviously learned a little more, and he's closed right up to Kevin Udasco in the 169. So as they round the dog leg and head towards the front straightaway in the fight for second, with just 3 laps left, can Scott Mandel, who led us out of turn number 1 and over to turn number 2 on that opening lap, rebound, maybe get a front row starting position for the main? He can see it. He can almost taste it, just 2 car lengths back as they head to turn number 2.
Through.
Unable to get the job done there in turn number 2 or 3. Just not close enough. They'll climb the Vanderstur Racing hairpin. He goes low this time, real low on the inside of the racetrack. That's closer to the dryer line. It's still a decent exit, all things considered. Little bit sideways, and Kevin Udasco going to point him on by. He'll let him go. So Scott Mandel gets through on a bit of sportsmanship. Class act by Kevin, not one to race too hard, and also a smart move knowing that maybe he can learn a little bit. If we do get a bit more of a dusting and the track stays wet, he can learn from the number 72 EOS kart in the pre-final here to maybe take something into the main. For now, though, Scott Mandel inherits that spot, gets the nice lead, and way up the road, about 10 seconds up the road, is your race leader, Jeff Clyde. He's coming through this Cannonball Storage chicane right now on that number 693 Comp Cart. and was competitive yesterday. Had a good day all in all through the heat races. Was battling near the front, but didn't end up dominating or leading too much. But he was on the cusp of it, and now with three of those major contenders, John Bonanno, Adam Pettit, Chris McGinley, all on the sidelines here for the pre-final. It's a big run for Jeff Clyde to inherit the top spot on the leaderboard, and he had to fight for it to get through, but a good opening lap got it by the Vanderster Racing hairpin. He'll head up there for the penultimate time, a lap and a half to go here for the top three. Evan Connolly running in that fourth spot as well in the number X machine. He's up 2 from his starting position. Gallo Barros also just hit the fastest lap of the race, and that's a driver who already has been out here once in the 100cc Masters division, so we know that Gallo has the most recent bit of experience of what the track conditions are like at this second, and he's putting that to good use, trying to hunt down Evan Connolly. He's about 6 seconds away, though. May not have enough time to get there. Bo Amato mentioned we weren't sure if he did get back going. He indeed did, still safely in 6th. John Baldassar went out on the opening lap in the 2:58. He's the only one that will not finish here in this pre-final. But as Jeff Clyde rounds the back sector, he'll come to the white flag this time. One more lap to go for the comp car driver. The lone comp car left in the field after losing a handful after the heats yesterday. He'll round through that chicane and come to see just one lap remaining here in the Tag Master pre-final.
Great run indeed for him as he continues with this hard charge. Jeff Clyde, definitely going to be one to watch in the finals here in your Tag Master category as he just makes his way into the Full Tilt Racing turn number 1. Beautiful drive through as we walk him through the rest of the circuit.
Yeah, there he goes out of Full Tilt Racing turn 1 to Gabriel Sports Car turn 2. Here's a look at second and third. The gap holding about even, maybe a little bit bigger from Scott Mandel to Kevin Udasco as of last time by. Evan Connolly will put his 7 lap in, goes personal best, even to Kevin Udasco. So good bit of confidence for Evan back and forth, about 9 seconds away. Mentioned Gallo Barros the last lap had a really good time. This lap had a big mistake, slowed back down, opened that gap back up. But half a lap to go. Jeff Clyde, not much more you can say. I mean, this was just a really well put together session by the driver of the number 693 comp card as he leads us into the CMC Motorsports back sector for the final time, coming off that Bolton Motorsports back straightaway. And just a cruise through to the end here at this point. He's got the lead. He can basically crawl and almost run with no throttle to the finish. Just a dominant run again. We know that probably won't be the case in the upcoming Tag Senior class, but in Tag Master, he can live it up because Jeff Clyde has driven this one to perfection. He'll climb over the curbing, the final time to that Cannonball Storage chicane, and past that CMC Motorsports arch onto the front stretch here at the Fall Nationals for the Northeast Karting Challenge. That moves 7 class grids, now fully set, locked and loaded for main events this afternoon. It's Jeff Clyde winning the pre-final in Fulcrum competition, Bolton Motorsports Tag Masters, over the likes of Scott Mandel and Kevin Udasco, who come across the line here now for second and for third. Evan Connolly will get credited with 4th, Gallo Barros 5th, Bo Amato 6th, John Baldassar, again the DNF, down in 7th. And we go from them to Tag Senior. Matteo Giuliano remains on the grid as the overcast skies continue to threaten, but the rain stopped for the moment. So we're ready for more here from New Jersey Motorsports Park. Well, the rain we thought was over is still here. Here's a look at Max Taylor on the Full Tilt Racing Tony Kart. He and Ryan Raffa were the two fastest standouts yesterday. They'll make up the front row here today. Joke with Max, saw him at dinner last night, said, well, you got going just a little bit too late. He said, yeah, we'll be better tomorrow. Well, he's got the best shot to try and go at it with Ryan, starting right alongside him here. He'll have a little bit of the inside edge in that right-hand bend before turn number 1, but Ryan will have the inside when they get to the left. So as they come under the CMC Motorsports arch, the full Miami USA East Race Rotax Tag Senior Grid getting set to go green. And here we go down to turn number 1. It's good. Rafa and Taylor nose even. Max Taylor gets the lead. He'll go low. Ryan trying to cross him over. Got a little bit of a bump there from Sutter Gable, who stalls it coming out of the corner. And Sutter Gable with a problem there on the Mike Doty Racing LN kart, trying to get back up to speed. Really got bogged down. Quickly refired the kart, but he goes all the way to the rear of the field there in the 384.
Right there for Sutter Gable, as he has a lot of work to do in that Lando Norris kart as they climb up to the top of the hill. The VDSR light pole turn, and now as we go 3 wide as they come down the hill and heading down the Bolton Motorsports back straightaway towards the CMC back section of the course. A lot of close racing, nose to tail, as we pick up Max Taylor trying to lead the charge here today.
Yeah, him and Ryan Raff are already out of view. Look at this, they're 2 and 3 wide all the way through that chicane. That's Brenna Schubert there on the KR team, blue and yellow, making a move inside of one of the comp carts, trying to go side by side. Another over-under as well. Still going at it further up the road from another one of the Team Ferris Racing drivers. That's Lars Wilson in the mix. Liam Kerper is there, but all the way up front, there's your leaders, and Ryan Raffa's gotten already around Max Taylor. So Ryan's gone back through to the lead. Max trying to take some alternate lines to try and make up some ground on him, but Ryan Raffa leads them out of the bus stop chicane and towards the dog leg here to put 1 lap in the books. Behind him, it's I believe maybe Liam Kerper there no, Anthony Pryor, sorry. Anthony Pryor on the 053 is third on the Mike Doty Racing LN car. Then it's Chris Harrower on the comp card in fourth. Spencer Patterson in fifth. Kerper down to sixth. Wilson seventh. Schubert. Kai Broben Facino ninth. Mitchell Kristoff is 10th. Sutter Gable yet to cross the line. I don't know if the problems continued for him, but it was a terrible start for Sutter. And Adi Reyna, Giuliano Stefanato, Alex Gelsius, all absent here from the pre-final so far in Tag Senior. But Ryan Raffa leads us down that back straightaway here with that bright silver helmet. Max Taylor digging hard to try and get to him. The same for Anthony Pryor on the MDR LN card. He leads the way in the Rotax division over Harrower in that subcategory. That's third and fourth there on your screen. Harrower on the blue and yellow comp card. The more blue machine is the LN card of Anthony Pryor. That's a close little fight for third and fourth. Even closer is fifth and sixth. Liam Kerper all over Spencer Patterson. Check this out here. Kerper was on his bumper coming out of that infield section presented by CMC Motorsports. Patterson a little wide, even wide for Chris Harrower. He goes off just in front of him and rejoins. Harrower out of fourth, drops back now to sixth, just ahead of Lars Wilson and right behind Liam Kerper. What a midfield battle this is as they come to put another lap down. This will be 2 complete. Rafa leads over Taylor Pryor. And then this group, way around. Who is that we've just lost? That looks to be potentially
800.
I don't know who we lost there. That's Kai Broben Facino. Kai goes out, just coming out of the dog leg. So Kai Broben Facino was at the end of that line. I believe behind Brenna Schubert, running just inside the top 10. He's gone. Meanwhile, Liam Kerper has gotten around Spencer Patterson. So Kerper now to fourth. Patterson under fire from Chris Harrower is trying to make up time. Chris gets through. He takes over fifth. Patterson back to sixth. Then Wilson, then Schubert as they rocket down the back straightaway. And your top two still way out in front. Ryan Raffa and Max Taylor long gone from this group, as well as, of course, the man in third, Anthony Pryor's kind of been inherited a nice and healthy margin. Is a big slide from Spencer Patterson. Wilson goes by. Here comes Brenna Schubert down the inside. She'll get through. Patterson trying for an over-under, coming out of the corner. He'll get there. Nose is inside and clear. No. Schubert around the outside, rips the high side, stays clear for 7th. So Spencer Patterson back to 8th, just ahead of Mitchell Kristoff in the 185. And up front, look at this here. How about it for second? Anthony Pryor closing in on Max Taylor to battle for that number 2 spot here at the halfway mark.
Yeah, Anthony having a really good run of that Lando Norris kart as they work their way over into the full tilt racing turn number 1. But Max Taylor trying to make sure he can keep ahead and make it a 1-2 full tilt racing as they climb up the hill here towards turn number 2. Great drive for both of them, but Pryor now just trying to find the better line for him to get that extra grip and maybe find his way up into P2.
Max Taylor able to pull back away, coming out of the infield opening sector. So the number 1 looking better this time after a bobble last lap around. Ryan Raffa still untouched at the moment, a 126.4 as of last time by. That was over a second quicker than anyone, or quicker than the drivers behind him. Liam Kerper was second best on the LN card for full tilt racing. So Liam Kerper, oh no. Big slow. Kerper really slow. Harrower's going by. Kerper's got a problem. Liam Kerper pulling off to the inside right as we went over to him. He had just hit the fastest lap of the race. And I don't know if Liam Kerper has knocked the chain off that thing or what. He is still moving, albeit very slowly. Whatever the issue was for Liam Kerper, now he's out of contention. And look at this battle here. That's Mitchell Kristoff. He's gotten around Spencer Patterson. And Kristoff and Patterson struggling for grip. Behind him, look who's closed in. Ian Frankenberger. This is going to be 7th, 8th, and 9th with everything shaken out now. Patterson in 8th, slowly dropping backwards. Frankenberger moving forwards. And look at this for 2nd. Change for the spot. Taylor versus Anthony Pryor. Pryor gets through. Anthony Pryor to 2nd. Taylor back to 3rd. Taylor wants it back. He'll go to the inside in turn 2. Max Taylor gets through. Anthony Pryor, slides into him as he got onto the paint of the curbing on the inside. Another crossover coming out. Will he have the momentum? He'll be even with him, but Taylor's got the preferred lane up to the Vandersur Racing hairpin for 2nd.
He certainly does, but Pryor sends it in on the inside. Drag race off the corner as they head down the Bolton Motorsports back straightaway, but Taylor will gather it back up and maintain the position.
Yeah, so Max Taylor holds on, and all this battling continues to bring Liam Kerper close. As there again, close to the bumper was Anthony Pryor, kind of barely just got into the left rear of Max Taylor. He's trying to take more of the normal line. Taylor on the rain line all the way on the outside. And then look who's closed back in. Chris Harrower's there as he's even gotten around Kerper, who's something happened to Liam Kerper that lap. He's out. It's Harrower actually in 4th. We mentioned Kerper. He had the problem just a lap ago in that section. So it's Harrower that was 4th. He's been tracking them down. He's close now, and he goes off. And right on cue, Chris Harrower as well. The commentator curses. Contact with the 185 of Mitchell Kristoff. Harrower was getting back on the racetrack, and Kristoff just nowhere to go. Nose-to-nose contact there as they were headed out back through the chicane.
Tough break right there for the Harrower as he had that contact. That's going to put him further out of the reach of a top 10 finish as they work their way around. We'll pick up 2nd place of Max Taylor. He just got back around the driver of Anthony Pryor for that position, but they have lost touch with your race leader, Ryan Raffa, 7.5 seconds up the road.
Everybody making mistakes here. If you can just keep your nose clean, you'll pick up a lot of spots. Perfect example is Lars Wilson and Brenna Schubert. They're now up into 4th and 5th through all the attrition, and they might even get more here as Anthony Pryor's going to try and reset and get back going towards Max Taylor. He has a faster lap time than him overall. He's definitely attacking, and he's been close. So we'll see if Anthony can make another run at him here with just a couple of laps to go. The timer's at 0. Here's that battle for 4th and 5th. Lars Wilson versus Brenna Schubert. Brenna on the more normal line. Lars kind of on a mid-track line through the corners. Not all the way to the outside, not all the way to the inside. Holding on as the Team Ferris Racing teammates. 4th and 5th there. The OTK with the white suit is Lars. The blue, purple and yellow Pride suit, that's Brenna. And you can see Lars Wilson a lot more aggressive, jumping over that curbing into the runoff, pulls away a bit as they come towards the line. Ryan Raffa's already gone by. That's 6 complete now for Ryan Raffa. And I think that might have been, was this 2 to go here at the line? It was, so 2 laps to go, Taylor, here. Big run to the puddle for Anthony Pryor.
Yeah, the rain's starting to pick up a little bit, and that puddle is getting a little bit big, especially when they head down into turn 1. So we might see some more action like that, where drivers hit that puddle a little too hard, so a tough break.
Yeah, Pryor was making up ground the last lap, picked up a couple hundredths. Looked like he was going to be good. In fact, really good. Wow, what an opening sector. Anthony Pryor, hand in the air going, what the heck is Max Taylor doing? He's slowed down a ton. Anthony now trying the inside slide job. Taylor over-unders him, holds on to second. Anthony Pryor still applying a ton of pressure to the number 1 plate of Max Taylor as they go down the back straightaway. He wasn't sure what happened to Max there, what slowed him down. Anthony deep in through the left-hander, kind of cost him in the right, but he's trying just so close there to get to Taylor and take over that second spot. Split up, like you said, that full tilt racing 1-2. There again inside, just can't quite do it. Taylor able to hold on, and we're coming to the white flag this time, 1 to go. You can see Lars Wilson lurking in the distance, only a second back, and this is all a long ways away from the leader. Ryan Raffa up 9 seconds up the road as they hop over the runoff area there. That's been a trouble spot through the Cannonball Storage chicane. 1 lap to go. Raffa's got lap traffic ahead, so 1 lap left for Ryan Raffa. Here comes second, third, and fourth through the dog leg. Taylor, Anthony Pryor, Lars Wilson back of the screen. Brenna Schubert up to 5th as they go down to turns 1 and 2.
Great run right there for Brenna Schubert as they work their way around the circuit and continue on into full tilt racing. There she is in the 5th spot, trying to see if she can maybe get into the podium.
Oh, look at this. Turn 2 down the inside. Pryor this time almost had it. Now he's still got to fight for it in 3. Has to go through the puddle. They bang pods. And coming out of the corner, Taylor gets back the position again with a nice over-under. Now, look at this here, the difference lines in the Vanderster Racing hairpin. Anthony's going to do the same thing, go high, then try to get that good launch down the back straightaway. Jumping over the curb, you can see all that mud and dirt getting kicked up off the tires as he's going to the ragged edge of the racetrack here. And this is the final effort for him for second. Final maybe effort for Brenna Schubert for 4th if she can get back up to Lars Wilson. This wide shot showing you both. And then behind that silver bullet rolling through is Ryan Raffa. He's got a huge lead over the rest of the field. Through the final sector, out of that CMC Motorsports back section. I don't know if anything will happen here in the double left final time. Taylor's going to take it really easy there, really slow down to make sure he made that through. Here's your leader, the silver bullet himself, Ryan Raffa, is going to cruise to the pre-final win in Tag Senior. Max Taylor trying to hang on. Anthony Pryor trying to get one big run at him through the dog leg. Lap traffic ahead, not going to matter. Taylor second, Pryor third, Wilson fourth, Schubert 5th. Look at that big run from behind. That was one of the BJR or MDR carts. I think a lap down. Andrew Precario picking up 10 spots from 17th. Dead last on the grid here in the wet. Goes to 7th. Spencer Patterson ends up in 6th. Chris Harrower up, down, and then down again, and rebounds to 8th at the end of it all. Mitchell Kristoff in 9th, Ian Frankenberger 10th, Tom Engblom, Terrence Patton, Neil James, Ryan Kilbashian, and Dimitri Alzameiler will be the final ones there through it. That's the X30 split. Raffa first in class over Wilson and Schubert. There is your split, I believe, on the Rotax power plants with Anthony Pryor winning that subcategory. The overall win, of course, going to Ryan Raffa. This ends our free coverage, folks. The main events will be exclusive to KC Premium members. Make sure that you have a KC Premium sub. If not, it's hitting the join button down below to watch this one live. That'll be all in about 5 to 10 minutes here as we get set to go green with the main event for Girard Construction Cadet. But that wraps it up for the morning sessions here for New Jersey. We're back with more in just a little bit on the main event live stream.